Okay, hi. This is going to be like a little crash course, little lesson for you guys on your intuition. This is going to be how to hear, know, and trust your intuition, okay? So this is going to be an open course for everyone, okay? How to hear, know, and trust your intuition. I've calculated this to be 3 videos long. This is video 1 of this lesson. So let's get into it, okay? Now, hearing your intuition, video 1. What is intuition? Okay? Your intuition is your inner compass, the God within you, spirit, universe, divine, God. It's your emergency alert system. 111 when I looked up at the timer. Your intuition is literally, it could be your spirit guides, it could be your guardian angels, it could be God, it could be, it's all those things, okay? Your intuition is all those things, okay? But most importantly, it's God's voice within you, okay? Because God is in each of us, because each of us is a part of God. So each of us is God. There's God within each of us. God's voice is within us. Your intuition is God's voice, okay? Now, God's voice, though, is no different from your own, okay? Let me explain. God's voice sounds just like your voice. So when people say, I heard God tell me to go kill 5 children. No, the fuck you didn't. What did that voice sound like? Did it sound like you? Or did it sound like what you thought God would sound like? Because if it sounded like what you thought God would sound like, that was not God. That was in fact an entity, a demon, and whatever you want to call it, okay? Because God's voice sounds just like our own voice. Why? Because we are part of God. We are God. God is literally within us. So why would God's voice be any different than our own? If we are God, we are part of God. God is within us and we are one with God. Of course, God is going to sound like us because us is God. Do you understand? You understand. Okay, so yeah, if you hear any other voices, it's either another energy, another entity, or something like that. It ain't God, because God sounds just like you. Okay? Your inner dialogue, for those who have an inner dialogue, that's God. That's your intuition. That's God within you, yapping. Okay? Now, what does your intuition sound like? I just told you. It sounds like you. Your intuition sounds like you. Again, God's voice is no different than your own voice. Okay? Like I was saying a second ago, voices that are not your own, voices that you hear that are not your own, they are either an entity, another spirit. They can be angels, they can be beings, they can be other energies, etc. But they're not God, okay? They're not God. So, as an example, me as a channeler, I can channel any energy, okay? I sometimes get messages from places y'all have no idea where I get messages from, okay? So every message is not from spirit. I say spirit when I know it's from spirit. But I do have my ancestors. I have my spirit guides that also speak. I have other people, some of y'all's people come and talk to me during messages and shit. Like, I've had fucking demons come and say shit to me. Like, I could talk to anything and anyone, okay? So as a channeler, I have learned and I know what is God's voice, my intuition, God's voice, what is my spirit guides and my spirit team, what is my fucking crazy ass ancestors. Oh my God, they're so... Anyway, and then I can tell when it's someone's relative, another energy, another entity, etc. I can tell the difference, okay? So for someone who does not know the difference, you might think that you're hearing voices. You might think that you are hearing God. And it's not always spirit. It's not always God, okay? Sometimes it's other entities, other energies. And low vibrational energies and demons, they do the same thing. They talk to you too. The intrusive thoughts that you have when you're walking or doing or driving, and it's like drive off the side of the road. That intrusive thought, that's a demon. It's trying to possess you. It's trying to talk you into driving the car off the side of the road and hurting yourself. Okay? Intrusive thoughts are not intrusive thoughts. They're fucking intrusive demons. They're intrusive entities. They're intrusive low vibrational entities and energies trying to possess you to do what they're telling you to do. You walking down the street and this intrusive thought is like jump in front of that truck. Well, thank God you have God within you and common sense, because you don't do it. But it's a demon trying to possess you to get you to jump in front of that truck and hurt yourself. Okay? So an intrusive thought is not what they taught you. An intrusive thought is, it's literally a demon trying to possess you to do something stupid. Okay? Now, listening to your first mind. When people say, listen to your first mind, the first thought is usually the right answer or whatever. Like that's your intuition. Okay? That is your intuition. So hearing your intuition, okay, let's see. What's a good example of using your first mind? You are taking some kind of test, okay? Whatever kind of test. And you have multiple choice questions. You have 4 answers that you can choose from. You read the question on the test. You look at the answers, and your first mind tells you it's A. It's A. But your logical mind kicks in, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, we learned about that, but are you sure that's really it? Because B sounds very familiar. C and D, I don't think those have anything to do with anything, but I don't know if it's really A. That's your second mind. And now your second mind has talked your ass out of picking A, and you have picked B. But your first mind told you, it's A. It's A. That was your intuition. Your intuition is usually the first fucking thing you hear. The first fucking thing you feel. The first answer you hear in your head is usually your intuition. Your human logical mind decides to butt in and intrude in you and your intuition's conversation and makes you doubt what your intuition has told you. That is a negative thought pattern that keeps you from listening to your intuition and can cost you your life. Okay? So when they say listen to your first mind, it's usually the right one. Yeah. Because it's your intuition, your higher self, God within you. And God and your higher self will never, ever, ever steer you wrong. But that logical human second mind will absolutely talk you out of the right fucking answer and the right damn decision every fucking time. Don't listen to that motherfucker. Listen to your first mind, okay? Because your logical human mind, it operates off of experiences that it's already had. It operates off of pain and woundings and trauma that it's already been through. It operates as a defense mechanism. It operates in fear. It operates in logic. There is no feeling in fucking logic, and you can't always make head over heart decisions. Sometimes you gotta use your heart and your soul to make a decision, and your second mind, that human logical brain, will fuck you up damn near every time. Okay? So listen to that first mind. Again, that first mind is your intuition, and your intuition is the God within you. It's also your higher self. Okay? Because your higher self is also God. So yeah, it's all one. We're all one. Everything is one. Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? I don't know. That just came to me. But yeah, everything's one. Everything's one. So your higher self and God will never steer you wrong. Your intuition will never steer you wrong. You have to learn when you are hearing it to listen, to trust it. And we're going to get into how to trust it in the third video. But right now, this is how you can hear your intuition. Your intuition will be your own voice, just like your inner dialogue, if you have an inner dialogue, because everyone does not have an inner dialogue. Do you know why everyone doesn't have an inner dialogue? Everyone isn't tapped in. If you were tapped into God, if you were one with God, if you were really connected to God, you would have an inner dialogue. Because what did I just tell you that your intuition was? That's God within you. So your inner dialogue is literally the God within you talking to you in your head. So if you don't have an inner dialogue, that literally means you do not have a strong connection to God. There is no connection to the God within you. You can't hear the God within you talking. You have no intuition. You have no kind of spiritual foretelling or anything. No intuition, no first mind, nothing. Because you're completely cut off and disconnected from the God within you. You have to be connected to the God within you in order to have and listen and hear your intuition. Okay? So for some of you, the reason why you're always confused about what your intuition is telling you is because you don't have an inner dialogue. You don't have a strong enough connection to God. So it's not even your intuition telling you anything, because you can't hear that. You're hearing entities and energies confusing you. You're hearing your own logical human mind confusing you and telling you things from what it's learned and what it's been through, and you're not hearing God at all. You're not hearing the God within you at all. And that's another reason why you're confused about what the heck is going on, what your intuition is saying, because it's not even your intuition. You are not connected. So let me talk really quickly about how to connect to the God within you, bars, so that you can start hearing your intuition. Now, if you've never had an inner dialogue, it may not start off with you getting an inner dialogue. You may start to have dreams or more vivid dreams if you don't have an inner dialogue, chances are you don't really dream, okay? You tapping in could start off as you actually having dreams or having vivid dreams that you remember when you wake up, okay? Then it will progress into other things like having a sixth sense, knowing when things are going to happen and be like, oh, snap, I knew that was going to happen. Then 12:21 on the timer, confirmation, then it will evolve into you having the inner dialogue, hearing God, your intuition actually talking to you, okay? So ways that you can better tap in to spirit, God, universe, divine, okay? 1, meditation. But you do not have to meditate the traditional way. You don't have to sit in complete silence to meditate. Anything that you do that relaxes your nervous system, puts you in flow state, and has your mind clear enough to where you're focused on what you're doing and focused on nothing external, that is a meditation. So if you listen to music and you completely forget that the world is around you and you are immersed in the music and you feel light as a feather and you are happy and calm and not focusing on the external world when you are listening to music, guess what? That's meditation. If you do that same thing, but when you smoke marijuana or just relax, or drink tea or coffee, that is meditation. 13:31 on the timer, confirmation. If you exercise or work out and you enter that flow state where you are in the zone and nothing around you exists and it's just you, your body, your sweat, and your endurance, that is meditation. If you dance and you dance like no one's watching and literally the world disappears and you are just fully immersed in the music and the movement, that is meditation, okay? Writing, creating, drawing, doing a fucking crossword puzzle. If you end up in that flow state and nothing in the world exists in that moment while you're doing that thing and you are enjoying what you are doing to the full extent of what you can, that is meditation. So don't think that you literally have to just sit in silence. No, you don't. Because for someone that gets downloads, trust me, you don't want to sit in silence. Because then God within you is not talking. You're not getting any messages. Sometimes it's good to actually have thoughts when you're meditating, because sometimes those thoughts are God and intuition talking to you, okay? So one way, meditation, however that is for you, dancing, singing, drawing, baking a fucking cake, taking a walk, pumping iron, whatever it is, meditation. The next way that you can better tap into God is testing your intuition. So confirmation verb. There's a lot of videos where they'll have like, guess what color the thing in my hand is, or guess what hand this thing is in. Those videos are good for testing and training your intuition. Okay. If you dream, write down your dreams. You will start to notice them happening in your everyday life. That is another way that you can better tap into spirit, because spirit is talking to you through your dreams. Once you can identify the dreams when they are happening in your waking life, you'll better be able to understand how spirit talks to you. Okay. Another way to tap in, being in flow state. So even if you're not meditating, creating, doing something that is like creating something. So anything creative, writing, drawing, singing, all that shit is easier and is a way to tap into spirit, because all those things, creativity and all those ideas come from God. They come from source. What's another way? I can't think of anything else right this second, but I am planning on making another video in the future about tapping into spirit, how to tap better into God. So don't worry, in the future I will actually be making another video about that. Okay. But right now, this is the end of hearing your intuition. Video 1 of this video lesson on how to hear, know, and trust your intuition. The next video is how to, or knowing when it is your intuition. Yeah, knowing when it's your intuition. Okay.